The Cosmic Embrace Dance Contemplation Intensive is an inquiry into probably the most important or the most well-known principles of contemplative practices, which is that of the perception of Purusha as the space of immanence, of that which is not manifest, and the perception of Prakriti as the manifest reality, which is nature, our bodies, our feelings, our senses. Before I do that, I just want to say a few lines about moving archetypes, my work, and the dance that I offer for those who don't know my work. Moving archetypes is about bringing alive ancient philosophy and ancient movement because they both go together. The practice and the philosophy, they both go together. And it is about bringing them to life in our times. Really, these practices and these philosophies are always there. They're always around us because they don't pertain to things or inquiries that are specific to particular times, but they are about finding the sources of our philosophies, our thinking, our ways of being, our action. And these inquiries are not relevant only to particular times. So when they are ancient, they're also extremely current and modern. And in them we find this dissolution of time, the sense of time. So the tradition that I offer is temple dance tradition, which was really the way in which these inquiries, these ancient inquiries, were brought into action. So you inquired through a practice, and temple dance was one of those practices. The Cosmic Embrace inquiry into Purusha and Prakriti really goes to the essence of exactly what I was talking about, these ancient inquiries and ancient examinations being so relevant to our time. Today's Purusha and Prakriti, sometimes they are talked about as male and female, but I think that that's a very narrow way of looking at these perceptions. So Purusha is everything. It's the whole, it's the wholeness. So Purusha includes that which is material and manifest, our bodies, nature. But it also includes what is immanent, that is what is not in form, and what we cannot engage with, we cannot perceive, so long as we limit our perception to forms and definitions. So this perception is not just only about what we consider material, but it is about ways of being, ways of thinking, our thoughts, our systems, our principles, our values, all of that. So all of that locks us into a perception where we are not able to experience or perceive that which is immanent or that which in our terms is unmanifest. Now, they say that Purusha is actually 3/4 of reality, and that which is manifest, that aspect of Purusha that is manifest, that movement of Purusha towards form, towards body, towards senses, towards feelings, towards thoughts, that movement is Prakriti. So Prakriti is the movement of our reality. So it's not just the material, but it's all our movement, our actions, our thoughts, our senses, the way in which we lock our senses into its objects. I see only because I see something with my eye, or I hear only because I have a sound externally that falls upon my ear. So that framework of movement is Prakriti. They are actually, that's why they're called the cosmic embrace, because they are totally enmeshed and there is no hierarchy. It is not that Purusha is somehow superior and, Prakriti is like, a half of Purusha, which is how it is sometimes visualized. But in fact, what it is this is a movement which holds both that perception beyond what we consider as manifest, as well as the movement towards manifestation, because they are both reality. And the practice of Ardhanarishwara, which is something that we will consider in the dance intensive, is a beautiful manifestation of this Purusha Prakriti union, in where Shiva is both Shiva and the goddess at the same moment. So in sculpture or in painting, you can see, an attempt is made to have this figure that is half male and half female. And therefore we assume that Purusha and Prakriti is about the male-female. But in other texts and in other practices, including in dance, sometimes it's represented as Shiva and Vishnu and not as the goddess. So Vishnu is the deity of manifest reality, of nature, of bodies, of senses, same as Prakriti. So in some sculptures, in some practices, it is Vishnu and Shiva. So it is not really about male and female in the way that we understand it. It is about the wholeness, the source, and it is about the inevitable movement in that source towards expression. And the beauty is that expression is not something that is wrong or something that is lesser or something that does not, sometimes we think that to experience that oneness, we have to move away from expression and we have to go towards this kind of introversion which rejects beauty and expression and the sense. But here they are in intimate embrace. And in some texts it is said that Prakriti is forever looking lovingly on the face of Purusha. So there is this beautiful lovemaking, this intimacy, this enmeshing of Purusha and Prakriti, which is in dance, it is wonderfully practiced as Ardhanarishwara, which means really the deity that is woman and the Lord. So over 2 days, we will look at how we prepare for this practice. There are practices in the temple dance which prepares the body through movement to enter into this practice. We will look at what is the movement of Purusha as that source space, and then what is the movement of Prakriti as that space that is of that source coming into expression. And in Ardhanarishwara, which is about what is that movement that can hold both in the same moment, in the same feeling, in the same dance, in the same movement. You will find more information about the workshop on my website, and I look forward to welcoming you to the Cosmic Embrace workshop.